if you can fix your income, you don't have any expense problems anymore. So I tell agents all the time, don't worry about going big. You don't need to make $36,000 this month. I bet you'd be happy if you made an extra $9,000 this month. So let's scale back and let's start easy. Because if you can find this and you can get this, next month you will have this. Hey, it's Greg Luther, and I'm excited to bring you a really cool training here today on how agents are getting closings. And more importantly, we're going to do some fun stuff today. We're going to do some math. Now, this is actually take 2 because I did it a minute ago and I did it on reverse camera, which means everything was backwards. So we're going to try and do this again, but I want to show you a really cool approach to an agent that got $36,000 and is actually averaging $36,000 every month without spending a bunch of money on advertising. So I know that's going to be helpful for you. We recently had a mastermind meeting where I was working with a couple of agents and we kind of got into their numbers. I actually wrote them down here from the meeting. We got into their numbers as far as what are you spending, what kind of ads are you running, what kind of money is that generating for you. So the first thing I asked this agent was I said, how much do you get when you close a deal? Now, obviously it depends on your price range and that type of thing, but she said, my average is $9,000. I get $9,000 every time I close a deal. Now, if you're out in California, that's way too low. If you're out in the Midwest, that might be a little higher than your average. So write down whatever your average is, but she's averaging $9,000 per closing that she has. Okay, great. So let's kind of look at some numbers here. When you generate your leads, I know all of your leads aren't good. As a matter of fact, most of those leads are no good. But tell me a little bit about your numbers here. What do your conversions look like? She said, if I can get a meaningful conversation with them, I'm pretty good on the phone, I'm pretty good with text message. If I can get them engaged, I'm closing 4 of every 10 that I can have a meaningful conversation with. 4 out of 10 is a huge number, right? So I said, let me get this straight. If you can get 10 meaningful conversations where they are interested, they engage with you, they ask a couple of questions, whatever. She said, usually when I'm making the calls, I'll only get 1 out of 10, but when I do my follow-up, they call me. They're interested in what I have. So 3 out of 10 call me, and those incoming calls, I convert even better. So I said, okay, so let me get these numbers straight. If you can get 10 meaningful conversations, you're going to make $36,000 because you're going to get 4 closings. Is that right? She said, that's exactly what my numbers are. It actually came to 35,600 something. So she's getting $36,000 from having 10 meaningful conversations. Why? Because 4 of them turn into money. I said, okay, but let's look at the real numbers here. I know you're not getting 10 leads and all 10 are talking to you. She said, no, that's my most embarrassing number of all. I have to get 100 leads to get 10 people to really engage with me. She said, I might get 20 or 23, 24 on the phone. Most people don't answer the phone. Most people aren't responding to text or email or whatever. We get a lot of chafe, a lot of extra stuff. So she said, I have to have 100 leads to have 10 meaningful conversations. I want to make sure you're following this math for your individual real estate business. I said, okay, that makes sense to me. So really 90% of your leads are no good, right? She says, well, of those 10 conversations, I am getting 4 closed. I said, so let me point something out to you. Based on the numbers that you've given me here, every time you have a phone call, you make $3,600. If you can have a meaningful conversation, you're getting $3,600 every time you get engaged with them. Why? Because 4 out of 10 do buy, giving you $36,000. So every 10 calls that you have, you're making $3,600. She said, wow, I never really thought of it that way. I get in a good conversation with them, and some of them say, well, I'm not ready for 3 months, or I'm not ready till later, or whatever. But some of them are ready right now. But I guess if I look at the numbers that way, every time I have a phone call, I'm getting $3,600 because 4 of every 10 close, giving me the $36,000. I said, let me show you a better number because now we're getting into the granular, this is how you build a real estate business. This is where the rubber meets the road. I said, I'm going to show you a number you're really going to like here. You remember you showed me that you need to generate 100 leads in order to get 10 good conversations? And let's look at the bad numbers. Only 4 of 100 close. But I said, you remember you get 100 leads to get those 10 conversations? Here's what that means. Every time your phone dings, hey, you have a new lead. Your Facebook ad is working. You got a new lead. Your Instagram ad is working. You've got a new lead. Every time your phone dings that a new lead comes in, you make $360. Into your family's bank account, you're getting $360. I want to make sure you understand the math on this here. Why? Because every time 10 leads comes in, she gets 1 conversation. Every time 10 conversations happen, she gets 4 closings, which creates the $36,000. So I said, okay, here's the magic here. Here's the numbers that we need to know. So you now know from your advertising perspective, you're guaranteed to make money on all of the ads you run as long as you're generating leads for less than $360 a piece. Now, these are her numbers. They're not your numbers. You may be very good when you get in front of somebody. You may not be very good. But these are what her numbers are. So I said, here's the magic sauce here. This is what's going to tell us if you're profiting or you're not profiting. I know you know your numbers here. Are you paying less than $360 a lead? She said, Greg, I'm paying $19.37. Holy crap. You mean to tell me every time you give Facebook $20, you get back $360? She said, well, when we break it down that low, I guess that's exactly what's happening. You need to go find some more $20 bills. Because every time you give them $20, you get $360. And every time you get 10 of those leads, you're able to get 4 out of 10 to close with you of having that meaningful conversation. So she is literally, and I'm going to turn this around to show you the math on this. I said, here's what's happening. 100 leads at $20 each, so this is going to be times $20, means you spend $2,000 in advertising. You got those numbers? You spend $2,000 to make $36,000. If Warren Buffett spends $2,000 investing in a stock, he waits an entire freaking year and ends up at $2,300. And he's a genius. So you show me a better investment than what you see right here. It does not exist. Now the key is, do we know our numbers? Are we tracking those numbers? Can we convert on the phone? Do we have a good system around that? I actually just created a whole training around that. We're doing a webinar on Wednesday. If you go to closingseverymonth.com. It's brand new. I got to look at it here. Closingseverymonth.com. I just put together this training. I'm going to do it on Wednesday. You're going to be shocked when you see the ads that are working, how easy it is to truly get those good motivated people on the phone. But when you spend $2,000, you get $36,000. Now, these are her numbers. They're not yours. You're not giving me anything. Use it on whatever ads you're using as long as that advertising is working. Now, what a lot of agents would say, well, Greg, that looks really, really good, but here's the problem. I don't have the $2,000. Okay. You also don't get this. So keep doing what you're doing. The world needs grocery baggers as well. Now, you can scale that down if you want. So you can say, okay, Greg, I can find $500. I got a buddy that'll give me $500. As long as I know for sure it'll get a closing for myself. Well, based on her numbers, not yours, this fictitious example here, based on her numbers, she gets $9,000 every time she spends $500. She's buying closing checks at $500 a piece. So now you don't have a problem with expenses. You have a problem with income. If you can fix your income, you don't have any expense problems anymore. So I tell agents all the time, don't worry about going big. You don't need to make $36,000 this month. I bet you'd be happy if you made an extra $9,000 this month. So let's scale back and let's start easy. Because if you can find this and you can get this, next month you will have this. And you can grow your business accordingly. Does that make sense? So the key is, again, knowing these numbers, and I'll flip back to this here, knowing these numbers here and what they are for you. I don't know if you get 7 out of 10 when you get face-to-face or get a meaningful conversation with them. I don't know if you get 2 out of 10. But when you know what these numbers are, you can kind of back into those numbers to make it work. I'm actually going to be showing on Wednesday's training, and you can join it for free, by the way. I'm going to be showing exactly what kind of ads to run, what offers are going to make them contact you and say, hey, I'm really interested in this. It's certainly not going to be from saying I'm a real estate agent, right? It's going to come from having a meaningful offer that they're very interested in. So again, the key here is knowing how much money you make based on your conversion rate. If you can get 100 leads and only 10 of them have a meaningful conversation and only 4 of those can actually make it work, now you can scale into your numbers. And I think you'll agree, $20 a lead is way freaking high. We've got agents all over the country generating leads on Facebook for $4 and $5, but not these kinds of leads. You want the good ones? Find the $20. I'll send you $20. Get yourself the good quality leads. It's not a matter of quantity. You want quality. You want highly motivated, highly qualified people. Who cares if they want to buy a house if they can't? Does that make sense? So, I don't want a whole bunch of leads. I want quality leads. Know your numbers here. This is how you get closings. When you know what those numbers are, you can back into it. And the cool part is you feel a lot more confident in your advertising. You feel a lot more confident in the conversion that you're using. Listen, there's an awful lot of systems out there and softwares and people trying to teach you should do automation and all that crap. Where are their customers that are actually making money? If you were at the biggest digital conference in the country in 2019, they said you have to kill all automation. People are slick to that stuff. They know how it works. It's not working anymore. That company themselves, with 10,000 people in the room, said we got rid of all automation because it gives you the illusion of movement, but you don't actually have movement. You know what you need to do? Find the good, motivated prospects and get on the phone with 10 of them. That's how you convert. If automation works so well, the companies that sell that stuff would be able to sell it to you in an automated fashion. What do they have to do? They have to get on the phone to sell you. They have to have a communication or text communication or whatever, a two-way conversation to actually get you sold. That's what you have to do with your prospects. It's called engagement. How do you get them engaged? So this is a really cool approach to make it work. I'm going to talk about it on Wednesday's training. Again, closingseverymonth.com. So I want you to go to that website right now, closingseverymonth.com, and get registered for it. And I'll plan on seeing you on Wednesday's training. We'll talk to you soon, and bye-bye for now.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that video, and listen, we've got a lot more information for you to help you with growing your real estate business. We load new videos nearly every day, and I want you to have access. So you got to do 2 important things. It's both totally free. Number 1, I want you to subscribe to this channel. You'll see the little subscribe button for you to click. If you don't have an account with YouTube, set it up. It's totally free. You got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important factor, you got to ring the bell. Right next to that subscribe button, you'll see a little bell to turn on notifications. That will let you know every time I load a new money-making video to help you with growing your real estate business. Subscribe and make sure you ring the bell. We'll see you in the next video.